In this video, we are going to study how to implement multiple conditions using if-else statement. For this, we will create a new class and we provide a class name. Suppose the class name is result. We are going to display result, means depending upon the marks of the student, we are going to display whether the student got first division, second division, distinction or passed. So that's why I've given a class name, that is result, but that is up to you. You can put any name. We double click, we will remove this, and here we provide the comment program to display result. Here in this program, we are going to accept marks from the user, and so for that we will import scanner class into our program. Import java.util.scanner, S capital in scanner. Then we write the class name, so public class result. Then we write down public static void main string args. Now we have to declare a variable where we will accept the value of marks from the user. So for that, suppose I take a variable int x, and the next step is to create an object of the scanner class, scanner obj. Here object name, this obj is the object name, so you can put any name over here, equal to new scanner system.in. Then we will print a statement where user will be asked to enter a value of marks. So system dot out dot println enter your marks. This statement is also totally upon the user. Whatever you want, you can display on the screen. Now whatever user will enter, that we will accept in the variable x. So x equal to obj dot, here this obj is the object of the scanner class, obj dot next int. So this statement is going to accept the value of x, whatever user will enter in, that will be stored in x. And now here we will apply the if else statement, which will test all the conditions, like if the marks is between 80 and 100, then it will be distinction, and so on. So we are going to apply the statements. So if x is greater than or equal to 80 and x is less than or equal to 100, means if the marks is in between 80 and 100, then system dot out dot println you got distinction, or whatever you want to print, you can print over here. Similarly, we will apply the condition for the other marks. So I'm going to copy the same this statement, because the same will be used everywhere. So I will just copy, because 2-3 more conditions I have to apply. Now if the marks is greater than or equal to 60, and less than or equal to 79, because above we have used up to 80, so here we will take up to 79. Means if the marks is between 60 and 79, then we can rate, put over here, you have got first division. Here we have to put inverted comma close. Then one more condition over here, that if the marks is in between 40. Now this is totally dependent upon the user, whatever criteria you want you can put over here. And if it is less than or equal to 59, then you got second division. Here we can write down second division. And obviously if the student got less than 40, that means that student have failed, so we have to provide that condition also. If the marks is greater than or equal to 1, and if it is less than or equal to 39, then you failed. Now here, whenever we are providing many conditions and we are implementing that using if else statement, then after this first if, we have to provide here else if in others statement. Means if this is not true, then the compiler will check whether this statement is true or not. Similarly, if the both are not true, then compiler will check this one. So we write down else if. And then it's a good practice to provide an option in which if the user enters any wrong marks, so that can also be printed. Else control V system dot out dot println you have entered a wrong number. Then suppose if the user enters like any negative number, or if he enters more than 100, because normally in any exam we have marks in between 1 to 100. So if any person enters more than 100, or if he enters less than 1, so in that case here one message will be printed that you have entered a wrong number. So this is complete, all the conditions are provided over here. Now we close the brackets and we compile the program. Here we can see no syntax error. So once there is no syntax error, then we will see the output. So right click over here, go to void main, then click OK. Now enter your marks. Suppose the user gets 56, then you got second division. Similarly, we will execute this program once again and see for any other options. Like suppose if the user gets 89, sorry, this click on OK, and if the user gets suppose 89, then you got distinction. So, and we will also check for that if any user enters any wrong number, so what will be the output. For instance, suppose if anybody writes -10, so this is not a marks, so you have entered a wrong number. So this will be displayed if the user enters any wrong number. So this is how we can implement multiple conditions using if and else statement. Here if else if statement is used to implement multiple conditions. So all this marks can be cross-checked and you can display the result. Now we are going to, in this video also, we will study about for loop also, the next kind of loop, that is for loop. So new class, and I will create a class name. Suppose this is the program to print square of number. So suppose if I give square, class name as square. Okay. Now click this one. Now before we study what is for loop, first we should have a theoretical knowledge briefly about what is for loop. This is the format how we write down for loop. Here you can see that here this is the for loop, and here inside this we have a variable which is having three types of data like this one. The first one is called initialization, means we initialize, we put a initial value to the variable I. Then here you can see I is less than equal to 10, means there will be a test condition, means this loop will be executed only up to when the value of I is equal to 10. And here you can see this is I plus plus, means here the value of I will be from 0 to 10, and after that when it becomes 11 then it will not be implemented. And here you can see these are the statements which are there inside the for loop. So this for loop can be for both forward increment, and we can also have as a backward loop can also be there, which we call as decrement. So we'll see that decrement, how to apply decrement in for loop in any other video, but today we are going to implement this using increment. So now let's see how to implement this for loop using a program. So this is in this program we will implement using for loop. So here we write down the comment program to print squares of number. Now here we don't have to accept any value from the user, so straight away we'll write down public class name was square, so we write down public class square, then public static void main, then string args. Here we have to take a variable, suppose we take I, which will be used inside the for loop, and one more variable to print the square. So suppose if I take square. Now inside for loop, for I equals to 1, I less than equal to 10, I plus plus. So in this program we have to print the squares of a number between 1 to 10. So our output should be 1, then 4, then 9, then 16, and so on, means square of each numbers. So for this we will store the squares value over here, and that will be I into I, means whatever will be the value of I, this square will store I into I. So initially the value of I will be 1, so this square will store 1 into 1. Now the test condition will be checked whether it is less or equal to 10. This is true. So now the value of I will increase by 1. So now the value of I will be 2. In the next term, when value of I is 2, then this square will print 2 into 2 and so on. So this is how this program will be executed. So now we will print system.out.println square of, then which number square we are going to print. So first we will put that, so square of I, then is plus, we will print here also we have to provide one plus sign, is, what will be the value? The value will be stored in the variable square sq. So this will print square of I, means value of first it will be 1. So this will print square of 1 is plus sq. Sq will store 1 into 1. So this will print square of 1 is 1. Similarly, when the value of I will be 2, this will print square of 2 is, what will be computed? 2 into 2. So this will print 4. So this way this loop is going to work. So now we will close this loop. One more bracket will be there. So now we compile the program. Here we see that there are no syntax error. So we will close this and we'll try to execute this program. So void main. Okay. Now here you can see the square of all the numbers are displayed, like square of 1 is 1, square of 2 is 4, square of 3 is 9, and so on. So up to here we see the square of 10 is 100. So this is how we will implement for loop. Here this is a very small example of implementing for loop. Many more programs we will do which will be there to implement for loop. Here we have the dry run of how this program will be executed. This is the program of printing squares of number from 1 to 10. And here is a dry run. So first, when i's value is 1, here this is the test condition. It will check whether I is less than or equal to 10 or not. So this is true. When this will be true, then only inside the body this statement will be executed. So what will be executed? When I equals to 1, then x value will be I into I, that is equal to 1 into 1. So after this is done, the next step will be to increment the value of I by 1, because here we have provided I plus plus. So this means I equals to I plus 1. So now the value of I will be 2. Now here also, when I equals to 2, again this test condition will be checked whether this is true or not. So here it will be checked whether I is less or equal to 10. So this is true. So once it is true, the program loop will this body of the loop will be executed. So what will be here? Here the output will be x equal to I into I, that is i's value is 2, so 2 into 2, that is equal to 4. And now again the value of I will be incremented. So now the value of I is, before it was 2, now it will become 3. Similarly, all these conditions will be checked. Here you can see it will be checked. Now when the value of x becomes 10, this will check whether I is less or equal to 10. This is true because i's value is equal to 10. So this statement will be executed, means this part will be executed. So we will get 10 into 10, that is equal to 100. But after execution, the value of I will increase by 1, and now when it becomes 11, then test condition will not be satisfied, because our condition is that i's value should be less than or equal to 10. So once this condition is not satisfied, then the program loop will come out. This program control will come out of this for loop, and this will display the output. So this is how this for loop are executed. So that is all in this video. If you like this video, please like, subscribe and share my channel. Thank you.